Hello, people. I'm here with a person that I think that needs no introduction because he's very nice and very cool. I'm here with rock and roll English, Martin Johnston. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why have you chosen the name Rock and Roll English?
I must admit, at the beginning, I kind of just thought it sounds cool, but then I kind of thought about it, and I think there's a lot for learning languages. And to be like a rock star, I think there are a lot of similarities because you need that something inside of you just to say, like, I don't care what anyone else thinks, I'm doing this. So like the rock and roll spirit of not caring what other people think, I think that's a very strong and important thing for learning a language because, so for example, I'm a language learner myself. I'm learning Italian, and there are so many times over the years where I have felt stupid and felt maybe embarrassed to speak. But in the moments where I think, no, I don't care, I'm doing this, that's always the moments where I'm most then satisfied with what I've said and how it's gone. So I think that attitude of don't care what anyone else thinks, do it yourself, be a rock star, I think is very important for language learning.
I agree with you because when we are learning a second language or a foreign language, we have to get out of our comfort zones.
Absolutely. Exactly.
And when I decided to be an English teacher, I can tell you that I get out of my comfort zone every day.
Yeah.
Because I don't speak Portuguese all the time. Because I am a Brazilian native. And I agree with you. I think you are hilarious. I listen to the podcast and you crack me up. Do you have a favorite episode?
I mean, there are so many that it's difficult to pick, really. A very favorite. No, I honestly couldn't pick, to be honest. I enjoy all of the episodes because the episodes are me speaking to my close friends and we talk about funny topics. So yeah, I enjoy all of them. Yeah, really. I couldn't pick one. One of the things I quite like about the podcast is it kind of tells my story as well, because when I started the podcast, for example, I was living alone. I didn't even have a girlfriend, and now, for example, I'm married, I have a child, and all of this, if you listen to all of the podcasts, you have all of these. So when you spoke about a favorite episode, the first one that came into my mind was when the episode about when my daughter was born, and I told the story of what happened when we went to hospital and like the funny things, let's say. So that one kind of springs to mind, but like I said, I think the whole podcast is almost like a story, really, and that's obviously the first one that jumps to my mind.
I agree with you. On my channel, I have a lot of interviews. That's what I like to do. Of course, I teach English as well. I do shorter videos and whatever, but I like telling people stories. I like listening to what they have to say, so I think it's really important. So when you said when your daughter was born, I identify because I am a father to two boys, a teenager and a preschooler.
Okay.
And I know it's a huge thing because my wife, your wife now, right?
My wife, yeah.
Yeah. They become mothers by the second that they know that they are pregnant. We become fathers when the nurse brings the baby to us.
Yeah, of course.
And we say, what now? How am I going to, what am I going to teach this child?
Yeah.
Because they are so tiny, so precious,
Yeah.
And they come into a world where they have to learn all the things around them. And when you said about the funny part of becoming a father. I think even though you were very funny telling the story, it was very poignant for you, you know?
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah.
I am a non-native English teacher.
Mhm.
What is your opinion about non-native English teachers?
I think they're the perfect people to do it because so they have been on the journey of learning the language. No, so I think you're in a great position to help other people because well, the journey never finishes. I don't think anyone can ever learn a language and say that's it. I've stopped. So even me. So obviously, English is my native language, but I still learn new words. I imagine it's the same for you. Brazilian Portuguese. I imagine you sometimes read a book and you think, what does that mean? Like, I don't think anyone in the world knows every single word of their language. So the perfect English thing doesn't exist. But to get to such a high level, so I know many non-native speakers and all like their English is incredible, often better than mine. And the fact that you have been on that journey, I think puts you in a fantastic position. I know some people that maybe are not so informed about the matter think immediately, okay, I know I want a native speaker, but I know many native speakers, including myself. When I started teaching, I really had no idea what I was doing because I had never looked at my language from the learner's point of view. So I had no idea what I was doing. So, for example, certainly in that situation, like when I started my career as an English teacher, and I had no idea what I was doing, in comparison to someone like you, a non-native speaker, but with a lot of experience, there would be no comparison. Like you were like a far superior. So it's not always the case where people think, oh, I want a native speaker. It's very often a non-native speaker can do an actually a better job than a native speaker. I think it depends on how prepared the teacher is.
Well, thank you so much concerning myself. What could you tell my audience to keep them motivated to study English?
So I think the most important thing is to find things you're interested in. So I spoke about this recently. So if we talk about, so often people say I'm too lazy, but I don't think laziness exists. I don't think there is I don't believe you can be lazy at anything. So for example, sometimes my wife says to me, for example, can you, I don't know, clean the bathroom? Okay. And I do a terrible job because I don't want to do it. And I find it very boring. So it's terrible. And then I clean it. She says, what's this? This is terrible. Because I try to finish it as quickly as possible because I'm not interested. But for example, this morning, I woke up at 4:30 this morning to make podcasts because I love that. It's my passion. So when you do something you're interested in, you will never be bored. So for example, if, again, use me as an example, learning Italian. So I love football, for example. So I read many books about football in Italian. If I had read a book about art, like I'm not so interested in art, I would not have finished the book. I would not have been motivated to pick up that book and turn the page. So to stay motivated, do things that you like and things that make you curious. So, for example, if you watch something on Netflix, something that you think, no, I want to watch the next episode, what happens? So things you're interested in and things that make you curious, I would say.
Why have you chosen to be an English teacher?
So the truth of the matter here is, so when I first moved to Italy, basically I needed a job to survive, and so there was a job offered, English teacher, no experience required, and so I applied for this job, and like I said, I got the job, but I was a terrible teacher. But so at first it was just to survive, but then very quickly I thought, no, actually I like this, because before I was an English teacher, I actually worked at a bank. I worked at an investment bank in London, and I hated the job. But then when I was teaching English, I really I could see students improving and helping people. When you help someone learn a language, it's very rewarding, because that person might find a job in another country, and you can literally change their lives, because if they pass an exam, they go to a university, they get accepted because they've passed an English exam, like the IELTS exam. You go to university, you can literally change someone's life. So that's why I decided to continue doing it.
Awesome. I teach many hours a day, and I speak more English than Portuguese.
Wow.
Because I spend a lot of time teaching. Of course,
of course.
I speak Portuguese with my wife, who's also an English teacher.
Oh, wow.
With my children and everything, but I speak English all the time because I teach one-on-one lessons now after the pandemic. I also own a small school, but the building is closed down for now because of the restrictions and everything.
Right.
But that's what I love to do, and that's what I chose as a career. So I thank God every day that I fell in love with English at 7 years old. And I made this my career because I love this language. I also love Portuguese. If you come to Brazil to visit me, in 15 days, you're going to be speaking Portuguese because it's too close to Italian.
Yeah, Brazil is actually the country I want to visit more than any other country in the world. Yeah. So hopefully one day I will.
Yeah, because of football, right?
That's one of the reasons, but I just have this image in my mind. It may be wrong, but I just have this image. Just such a happy place, happy people, drinking a beer on the beach, having fun. It just is somewhere I want to visit before I die.
It's exactly like that. I can tell you that we are very warm. I like to say that I personally wear my heart on my sleeve. We are very open. We welcome everybody. Like, if you text me and say, Rod, I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to be helping you. Do you need anything to help you with the trip? That's the way Brazilian people are. We are very available. One last question before we go to the rapid round game. What is your next station?
So if we're talking about kind of professional things, because I'm going to be changing country, I think, again soon. I'm going to be moving back to England, but forgetting like personal life, to continue building my community. So I have a community now of English learners, and so I'm very passionate about helping them and to try and help as many people as possible, basically, because especially people that have a good level. So I imagine people that are listening to this have a decent level of English. Like I don't think if you're a complete beginner and you watch this video, I think you're not going to understand anything. But when you arrive at that position of like intermediate, especially upper intermediate, it is very difficult to keep making progress. So it's now my mission to help these people. So to try and expand it as much as possible and help as many people as I can.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, now we're going to play the rapid round game that everybody loves. So my first question is, my daughter is?
Amazing.
My wife is?
I would say inspirational.
The Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
The Rolling Stones.
The most beautiful English word for me is?
I really like the word rummage, which means, so like when you if you're looking through someone's bag and you're kind of rummaging through, it's just got a great sound and it's quite a funny word.
Yes. My current dream is?
To send my daughter to the school I went to.
Awesome. You can ask me the questions now.
Okay, my country, Brazil, is?
Very big.
Okay. That's definitely true. Yeah. Okay. The place I most want to visit is?
England.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I suppose I can see
because
why.
I've been to the States, but I never been to England.
Right,
if you know what I mean.
course.
I don't have time to go to England.
Yeah, of course, but it's very far.
Now,
That's the same reason I haven't been to Brazil. Okay, so my hero when I was growing up is
my father, my mother,
Mhm.
and I may say Madonna because of the English language.
Yeah, nice.
My parents, they were my legs
hmm
for many, many years up until I found my wife.
Okay, very nice, very inspiring story.
Thank you.
So, how about this one? The best advice I've ever received is
Never give up.
I like it. Yeah, the best book I've ever read is
I don't know if it's the same title in English, but it's a German book. When bad things happen to good people.
right. Okay.
It's an awesome book.
And what
It's
did you learn from the book?
that life is short
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be happy
Mm-hmm.
while we can, So
Yeah.
that's a good lesson to learn, when you are like 21, 22, which
Mm-hmm.
was when I read this book,
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to the end of the interview, and for every guest, I have a sentence, a quote, a takeaway. And for you, I would like just to say thank you for helping me laugh a little bit, because I think the way that you record things, like waking up at 4 in the morning to record a podcast, you're doing a great job. Literally, to start my day better because I listen to the stories. I like the way you talk. I like the way you joke with people. Thinking about a sentence for you, it would be never stop dreaming. I think
I
it's,
like it.
and also something that I would like to tell you. I think that peace and respect we need to bring to the world, not only today or tomorrow or yesterday. And that's what I
Absolutely.
wish you and your daughter and your wife: peace,
Thank you.
love, and respect.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that a lot. I do the same to you.
It was a huge pleasure to have you for this interview. People, this was Mr. Rock and Roll English, or I think I can call him a friend now. My friend
Absolutely, Rod.
Martin. And how can people find you?
Just look for Rock and Roll English. Go on Google in the podcast app. And any podcast app you find it. Look on Google, you'll find the website.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll English. It's Rock N. So there can
Rock
see
and
the
Roll
N.
English.
And you will also notice, I always say this when I on other people's channels, I'm the only learning English platform with a grammatical mistake in the title, because there should be another apostrophe about here, but I forgot to put it on, and now I leave it there as a sign to show it's okay to make mistakes, because everyone does, including myself.
I make mistakes in Brazilian Portuguese every single day, so
it's totally normal. Yeah, especially because when we're speaking, you often speak fast, you're changing ideas, lots going on in your head, so you just make mistakes. It's totally natural.
And sometimes people say, you're a teacher, you can't make mistakes. Of course, we can make grotesque mistakes.
Absolutely.
But we make mistakes.
This is the one here.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I found a better phrase for you that I really love. It's an African saying. It comes from Ubuntu. I am because we are. So you are a native English speaker. I am a non-native English speaker. But if it wasn't for English that I love so much, we wouldn't be talking today.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And thank you for being so kind, so gentle, and so funny with me. In a very kind way. I felt really flattered. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The same. You were very kind with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And keep rocking.
Absolutely.
It's a cliche to finish the interview, but
forever.
Keep on rocking. People, absolutely. I hope you liked it. This was my friend from Rock and Roll English.
Yeah.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy, he's so humble, he's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye bye, God bless.